my mom and me. This is video log 6.1, I think, and Mom is my resident historian, and she's going to help me describe to you the sights of Yampa that we're right in the middle of. We're standing in front of Antlers Cafe and Bar. I mean, this thing has been around for
ages, ever since
more than 100 years.
Yeah, it's very old.
This used to be the big strip mall in town.
Yeah, this is it. This whole this is the downtown Yampa here.
Yeah, this is downtown Yampa. We're standing in the middle of Main Street. It's very, very wide because they used to drive cattle right through the center of Yampa. It's not paved, as you can see, but we like it that way. And they used to have rodeos right in the middle.
They still do. They have, on 4th of July, they strip away the top layer of the soil here, and they have horse,
barrel racing and stuff?
No, horse, is it hockey? They hit the ball with their brooms on horses.
All right.
And that's real fun to watch.
So, my mom used to come here a lot when she was a girl because my grandpa owned land up here, and several uncles too. So, she knows this town. We're in the middle of the street. Maybe we should move. Although they can go around us. This is big enough for a cattle drive. So this store is also very old.
This is Joe. We always called it Joe's, but when my aunt and uncle ran several businesses up the street here, we used to have to run into Joe's and buy little items for Aunt Florence and Uncle Fred.
And what businesses did they run?
Well, we'll get up to that when we get up to the hotel building. And the most special place for me is this white church up here, because
this is Yampa Bible Church.
My father was the interim or some kind of a associate pastor there when he was, I believe, 19 years old. And
he was pulpit supply many times, off and on.
And he's had tried to have an impact on the church and bring it into the Reformed view of thinking, but so far they've remained a Bible church. But it was a
good service this morning. It was good.
He was able to get a Reformed pastor in here for quite a few years. Reverend Camrath was a pastor, and it was through Dad's influence that happened.
My grandpa was also a missionary in the Middle East, and for a while he did circuit driving, preaching in this area.
He had 20 stopping points, and he had a Model T Ford and drove to each one of these places. For every week he went to each place one time.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd be in a beer joint and he'd say, okay, close the beer joint, we're going to have services. And they would do that. And that's how he met my mom, because she was the piano player at Mount Harris. She was teaching school there, and she happened to be the piano player. And
in the bar.
Something happened there.
Okay. So here's the Royal Hotel, which...
And this is what Uncle Fred and Aunt Florence ran.
But this is also where my great-grandmother lived when they first came here. So
no, they lived across the street.
Oh, okay.
The building is no longer there.
Oh, okay. No, not that one.
Yeah.
So my great-grandfather came here as the town's doctor.
Right, and he had a pharmacy, or whatever you would call it, where he would give out the medicines. And upstairs they lived for a while, and in the back there was a little tiny room, and he would do all the teeth pulling and all the surgery, whatever. There was a table back there. The patients would lie down, and of course the medicines that they could give them were
in 1915 or so.
Were not a whole lot. But it was fun to go back there one time.
But they were the high society of Yampa when they first moved here.
Very much so, because they came from New York State.
My great-grandmother wore gloves. White gloves to church.
And the town ladies did not appreciate that very much.
There's my cousin Mark.
Because
now you're famous.
None of the town ladies had white gloves.
Okay.
My grandmother. I have to tell you about this building. When Uncle Fred and Aunt Florence had it, they had a hotel. They had a drugstore. The drugstore moved from across the street to over here. It was right here. They had a coffee shop and so they had those three things that they ran most of the time when I grew up. It was always fun to come here too because we would sleep in whatever room was empty, which there were usually a lot of them. They charged $2.50 a night for a hotel room. There was not a bath or a tub in a lot of them, and in the wintertime you could end up with ice if you weren't careful.
And weren't
Because
you
it's
saying
cold.
somebody lived right here?
Yes, after my grandfather died, my grandmother moved into an apartment. Uncle Fred made an apartment for her, and that was her living room window there.
All right, and one more building, right? That's important.
Which one's
The Ladies' Aid building, which is where we're having all our meetings.
Oh,
but
yeah, I think my grandmother was influential in getting that Ladies' Aid group started,
Yeah.
I think.
all us cousins are having lunch there. We rented it for $25 today, and
$25 a night or a day. Yeah.
this lady, the white building right here, this Ladies' Aid building is where my great-grandmother would come for knitting club, and they knit things for the soldiers during World War I. So,
This house Uncle Fred built, and this house Uncle Fred built, he got some logs from an old log cabin out in the country, and he tore down the old log cabin and brought it over here. And he built this with those old logs.
so there's history everywhere here.
Everywhere.
And that's it. This is the last day of the reunion, so we're gonna go in and have lunch and then say goodbye to each other. But it's been a great time visiting with about 65 people have been here. We counted up. So it's been great to have everyone here. Signing off.